Here's a random touch point. Sitting in a situation yesterday where I was put under pressure to try and solve a situation. Now, sometimes what we tend to do is we put them aside and we'll get to it later. Or when we get put under pressure, which is not necessarily a good idea, is to work under pressure. Sure, you can come up with amazing answers, but what I have found is if you actually sit down and focus on the things that you need to go through, like a list. I have a list that really irritates me in my life, that I can't find solutions for, or sometimes they seem so small, but every time I walk past it, like fix that dripping tap, or don't forget to mow the lawn, or to fix a light on your car, kind of stuff that's important, but it doesn't necessarily warrant an emergency. The only thing for me is it just sits there consistently ticking over, and when you're going to solve me, when you're going to solve me, when you're going to solve me. And a friend of mine was asking me, you need to take a rest. And I said, you know what? When my mind stops thinking about these things in the background, these seemingly trivial, that if they were so trivial, we wouldn't think about them. When my mind stops thinking about them, then I'm going to turn around and go, okay, cool. Then my mind is quiet when I've addressed it. And I have spoken about it before, where we say that if not now, when? So it's that kind of dirty bucket list that is not necessarily fun to do. If you're not going to do it now, when are you going to do it? And then when are you going to do it? Make a date, a time, and make it an appointment. Because if you don't, if you're anything like me, they're going to just continually churn in the back of your mind, and you never have rest because you have to sort these things out. And when you see the person that it relates to, or you walk past that room where it is, you tend to avoid it because it just irritates you so much. So I've got this list, and I just it's called a bucket list, but I took the B away because it frustrates me. And I go through this list, and it is so rewarding, and having these little accomplishments of finishing these minor tasks that take up so much headspace. So the challenge is, when you are forced under pressure to do something, you do come up with great solutions. The sad thing is, as I found out yesterday, had I thought about it sooner, I wouldn't have gone through all the troubles I've been through to get there. And it got me to a place where I had no choice but to address it, and came up with the most incredible solution. In fact, I'll tell you what that incredible solution was. It was the power failure. We went and lost power, and normally what happens is that I've got to go through to the studios and do radio, but I couldn't go through yesterday because they have construction in the building. So here I'm sitting at home, and we get power failure, no warning, or not enough warning for me, and then I couldn't continue doing what I was doing. So I went outside, sat down, had a cup of coffee, and in that tried to solve a solution that was going to cost me a lot of money, which I don't have. And I phoned around, and because I engaged, I just got the answers I needed. I heard that voice, answered that voice, and came up with an incredible solution that didn't even cost me a fifth of the price. And now I'm ready. So when power failure happens again, I'm okay. Now the weird thing is, it was for today, but there was no power failure. But I am now prepared. So I just want to encourage you. Don't work under pressure. Pressurize yourself to come up with a timeless or timiest answer. Get all the information you need, and then make a decision and act on it. And you'll have a much better solution and a lot less pain. I just need to get that off my chest. I thought I'd share that with you. I hope that's okay.
The power of his dream brings you here. HISMAN Sean Collard.